in the future, the reason why I'm big on move to earn and play to earn, and you already got guys starting to chip themselves. I don't know if have anybody heard of people chipping themselves and putting the chip in so they can get to the airport or had an ID. In the next 70 years, I believe that that's going to be the new, right? People mixing their well-being and their biology with tech, right? And in these, microneurons and all these small devices that can be used for health benefits, right? Can be used to track, all the things. I mean, right now I'm already walking around with a Fitbit or a watch that tracks everything. I think we'll have a lot of AI and personal data that's inside. So the reason I'm mentioning this on this call, it is just to say, it's kind of like a precursor to the mastermind call that we're going to have, probably next Monday. Since we'll be out in Houston this week, I'll probably skip the Wednesday and do it on Monday. But the guys that have the trading secret or trading plan, you'll get it by the 1st. All right, probably Friday or Saturday. And so, this is shaping the future and where we at in crypto. We're looking at the price movement of Bitcoin or XRP, in the cryptos. I think all this is just temporary, right? And eventually, when we start, they're already having bank runs, right? In Lebanon, people are going into banks, taking people hostage to get their stuff out. And they're going to be looking for alternatives to put it. When we start having bank runs, people are not going to trust the banks, right? And a lot of people are already starting not to trust the banks now. So as an alternative for me, I'm putting mine into different trading brokers. I think an alternative for you, if you have cash, for me, I'm actually 2023, it is about buying assets. So I don't plan to have a lot of cash. All right. I've already partnered on 2 physical locations. We got businesses that I want to partner with. I'm doing things, and I'm going to talk about it, in Houston, but I'm, also with you guys, it's like a contingency plan. It is, what happens if all your money is tied up in the banks or you can't get access to it? The bank runs and they freeze the accounts. So for me, putting it into trading accounts, putting it into, stocks, you can diversify, also taking some out in cash. I've been taking out cash out of my banks, a little at a time, because if you take too much out, you get a SARS report. Right? If you go pull your money out the bank, you're going to be put on a suspicious activity report. So, that is something that, of course, the banks don't want anybody running to get the money, right? They don't want nobody coming and says, hey, all our customers want the money. They will stop. So, think about that. So if you're taking a little bit out and, you want to have a little bit on the side, that's good. Another thing is that, Darrell and a lot of guys are talking about the FTMO accounts, right? It is good to have FTMO accounts. It is good to have credit lines, right? It gives you access to capital. But, for me personally, it's good to have Bitcoin. You can borrow against it. I know Dennis has talked about borrowing against his, crypto or taking loans out. It is just to get you an idea that you should have a contingency plan. All right. And when I talk about the precision consumer to 2030, things that I want to invest in, of course, we see the electricity. We see Ford just came out with a electric truck. We see that, crypto is here to stay. So for anybody that's getting out of crypto right now because of the market, that's totally the wrong thing to be doing. If you made it this long, 2018, 19, 20, with the things I can present to you, it's probably the wrong time to be getting out. Another reason why Ripple is moving and XLM, it is because, there is the belief that we are going to a digital society, a cashless society, and some of those that have global remittance and ISO 222 standards, which is the same, the reason why we have batteries that is all over the country, or certain electricity prongs, it is to accommodate globally, to have a global acceptance. That's one of the biggest things with Swift and the Swift and I think it's another one I can't think of right now, but that's one of the things that's big with them, is that whatever is globally accepted, it should be used more. So that's why Ripple and XLM and Algo, that's why they're going up. All right. So I'm putting some things inside the chat, for the guys that want to know and kind of do their own research. Another thing is that I've talked about it. If you go back in 2019 and a couple of years, I've always talked about the fourth turning, which is kind of like a philosophy that we go through these cycles of generations. Let me see if I can get a kind of all right, the fourth turning. This is kind of like a little. This is my update on the. You can look it up, the fourth turning, and it just basically what happens during a fourth turning, right? We go through these stages of, fourth turning, which is a crisis, rebirth, which is in line to what this year going into 2023 should be. But of course, during that rebirth, there is a crisis, right? The crisis, whether it's war, Ukraine, whether it's the currency, all that stuff, it creates a crisis. The housing crisis of 2008, or 2009, we call it a great housing reset. And I think we'll have a great currency reset, right? And some of this, the archetypes included is, some of us will be repairing, and then we'll see a lot of growth, right? So in the next 7 years, there'll be a different type of growth, right? But there'll be a growth that happens. So when everybody's focused on the crisis, it's one of the main reasons I said, hey, I'm gonna buy a lot of assets, buy some businesses, when everything is going down and you have, you had these assets, you don't want to just be holding on to them, right? That's why, for me, being in the market, being able to trade, you can generate income, but you also, for all the guys that have been in crypto, you want to turn it into some assets as well, so you can diversify.